Ubuntu 26.04 now needs more RAM than Windows 11. The truth behind the change. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you have been using Linux for years, you probably love how it can breathe new life into older hardware. But things might be shifting a bit with the next big release. Canonical just updated the system requirements for Ubuntu 26.04 LTS, codenamed Resolute Raccoon. And the minimum RAM has jumped from 4 GB to 6 GB. That's actually higher than Microsoft's official minimum for Windows 11. Today, we are breaking down exactly what this change means, why it's happening, and whether it's a big deal for everyday users. Stick around, this could affect how you choose your next operating system or upgrade your machine. So, let's start with some quick history. Ubuntu has always been known for being lightweight and accessible. Back in 2014, Ubuntu 14.04 LTS only asked for 1 GB of RAM. By 2018, with Ubuntu 18.04, that went up to 4 GB, which felt reasonable at the time when 8 GB or 16 GB was becoming common on laptops. Now, for Ubuntu 26.04 LTS, which is due out April 23, 2026, the official desktop requirements are a 2 GHz dual-core processor or better, at least 6 GB of RAM, and 25 GB of free storage space. This is the first time in over a decade that Canonical has raised the RAM bar for the main desktop edition. And yes, on paper, it now sits above Windows 11's listed minimum of 4 GB. But here is the important context. These aren't hard you can't install limits. Ubuntu will still boot and install on machines with less than 6 GB. It always has. What Canonical is doing is being more honest about what delivers a smooth, usable experience in 2026. Think about how we actually use computers today. Dozens of browser tabs open at once, web-based apps like Google Docs or Slack, streaming, and multitasking. The modern GNOME desktop environment, improved security features, and all the background services just need a bit more breathing room than they did a few years ago. It's not that the core Linux kernel or Ubuntu itself suddenly got polluted. It's the real world workloads have evolved. Canonical's own release notes makes it clear. They are not trying to hide anything. They want the minimum to actually feel usable out of the box, instead of frustrating new users who expect things to just work. For comparison, Windows 11's official 4 GB minimum is often called out as too low for comfortable use anyway. Most people recommend at least 8 GB for Windows these days too. So Ubuntu's 6 GB requirements actually lands right in that realistic sweet spot for modern computing. Now, if you're rocking an older machine with 4 GB or even 2 GB of RAM, don't worry, Ubuntu hasn't abandoned you. The official flavors like Subuntu, Lubuntu, and Ubuntu Mat still targets lower spec hardware and continue to perform great on modest systems. Plus, Ubuntu Server keeps its requirements much lower, starting around 1.5 GB depending on your setup. This change really only affects the main GNOME-based Ubuntu Desktop Edition, and even then, it's more of recommendation than a barrier. So, is this the end of Linux lightweight reputation? Not at all. It just shows how far mainstream computing has come. Ubuntu is evolving alongside the way people actually work and browse today, while still keeping those lighter alternatives alive for older or budget hardware. So, what do you think? Is 6 GB a reasonable ask in 2026? Or does it sting a little for reviving old machines? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear if you're planning to upgrade for 26.04 or stick with lighter flavors. If you found this helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more Linux and tech explainers, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the full Ubuntu 26.04 review when it drops. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.